Hey folks, welcome back to No Man's Sky, and yes, we're getting a brand new update, likely really soon as Sean has been teasing it over on Twitter. Plus, of course, end of the year also means new expedition reruns, so let's talk about that and more in this video. Starting of course with the brand new face emojis with symbols over the mouth that Sean has been teasing over the past few days, or well, basically the past 24 hours. But lots of folks, including yours truly's immediate thought was to some kind of curses related update, or at least meaning, maybe something in the horror theme, which is why from this point on I'm going to go out on a limb and call this the unofficial accursed update or accursed expedition, but you're free to speculate down in the comments as well. In the meantime, it's very hard to judge what the contents of it would be because Sean is a massive troll and he has led us on the wrong path many times in the past with these emojis. Pretty much nobody gets the name right, and even less so the contents of these updates. That is why for the time being I will only speculate on the release time window, which is likely going to be next week. For a couple of reasons. First of all, Sean usually teases these emojis very close, maybe a few days leading to the launch of the new update, and second of all, the internal branch of the game has been updated as early as 3 days ago, so it's likely we will see even more updates starting on Monday internally, and by Friday next week we should see a new trailer dropping down as well as the new update going live, at least on Steam. That is at least my expectation. Now, content-wise, lots of folks are speculating that this could be some kind of follow-up to the Desolation update back in 2020. Like, remember that one? It was such a dope update when it came out. Quite nothing like it until then, and even since then, we never had anything on that level. But unfortunately, in the past few years, it's also been completely abandoned, or at least mostly abandoned, as there is almost no reason to jump into it. So Hello Games may have recognized that and may have decided to bring back those horror elements, maybe with a refresh, but especially so with some new content in there, also in that theme. That would definitely be interesting. But at the same time, this could also indicate this sort of accursed update could be another filler update similar to Aquarius from last month, just because yeah, we're still waiting on Worlds Part 2. So let's talk about that. What the heck is happening with No Man's Sky Worlds Part 2? Probably the most awaited update ever. Part 1 was amazing when it came out a couple of months ago. It brought some much needed new bells and whistles to the default exploration. Also those cool insect boss fights and many other things on top. So obviously lots of folks, including myself, are very excited to see more of that in Worlds Part 2. But I don't think this is it. I think that that could be reserved for early 2025, and this could just be another filler update. Because a lot of the data mined and leaked stuff we saw for supposedly Worlds Part 2 seemed very ambitious when we talked about it back in September. So if you want to check that video, go ahead. I have it fully explained down below, but basically there were a bunch of cool new things teased, like a new purple solar system that may include new types of biomes completely from scratch. Like we've seen some of the assets already being made mods out of, and you can even go ahead and test them out. They look really awesome. A lot of that architectural stuff seems reminiscent of some of the trailer elements we saw for Light No Fire, and we know for some time now that Hello Games is bringing quite a lot of features that they probably will add in Light No Fire, but they are now testing it in No Man's Sky. We saw the 3D water, which is amazing, an insane update and an insane graphical increase, but we might see more of that in terms of these biomes, like something that we might see in Light No Fire. Now, in the meantime, we also have to talk about possible end-of-the-year holiday expedition reruns. In the previous years, it usually came in December, sometimes in November, and pretty much most of the expeditions had a rerun for those who missed them when they came out first time. So if you're missing a bunch of cool items like ships and even more customization, you will now have the time to do so. Now, back in 2023, we had Utopia, Singularity, Cartographer, and Voyager Expedition reruns, and from these, only 3 of them were from that year. Cartographer was from 2021, I believe, and they decided to do a rerun on that. But in 2024, I'm speculating on at least a couple of them that will get a rerun. So in my opinion, I think that the most likely candidate A should be Omega Expedition with the Starborn Runner. Lots of folks, even to this day, ask me about this ship, so it's very likely that we're gonna see a rerun of that since so many folks out there still want this. It's an awesome ship, one of the best design in the game, and even to this day, it's my main from all the ships that we ever got from Expeditions. Utopia was also nice, but this is just like leagues above it. Another one that could be also very interesting is the Iron Vulture that we had from Expedition 13, Adrift. This is another really interesting one and also quite unique because it's the only one that you can disassemble and put its parts on existing, in this case, haulers. So if you have a hauler, you can even add the wings or the back or the engines of that Iron Vulture, which is really nice. Or recreate the Iron Vulture. At the end of the expedition, if this reruns, I recommend buying in a bunch of these, scrapping them so that you can have all of those 4 pieces to craft your own and make it even better than the default Iron Vulture that you get. You will find some tips and tricks online on how to do that, plus I'm going to cover it when it comes out. But that's pretty much it with the update for the time being. We're going to follow soon with, of course, the new patch notes when they drop, as well as the new content. So if you want to stay tuned with that, definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.